Lyra moved swiftly through the gleaming corridors of the med station, her forearms moving in perfect coordination as she carried the necessary instruments. The station orbited a quiet blue planet at the edge of the frontier zone, a place where human forces and alien research teams often crossed paths. She had seen humans before, of course, but each one brought new variables, and she prided herself on her attention to detail. The human they had brought in was a young soldier named Carter. He had been injured during a skirmish against rogue mercenaries, who had ventured too close to the colony outpost. His injuries were not life-threatening, but they were complex, and the medical team had called for her expertise. As Lyra entered the triage room, she observed Carter lying on a hovering medical bed. His uniform was torn in places, showing scrapes and bruises along his arms and legs. Despite the obvious pain, he maintained a calm demeanor, his green eyes meeting hers with quiet determination. There was a respect in that gaze, a kind of silent trust that alien healers rarely saw. "Carter, I am Lyra," she said, her voice soft but precise. "I will conduct a full examination. You are safe here." The human nodded, shifting slightly to make himself more comfortable. Lyra extended her instruments and began scanning the areas of visible injury. Her eyes glowed faintly as the diagnostic rays passed over his skin, mapping bruises, swelling, and internal trauma. Most of the injuries were straightforward: sprains, minor cuts, and a few deep bruises. Lyra made careful notes, her multiple hands working efficiently to stabilize and bandage what was necessary. Then she reached a more delicate stage of the examination, where she needed to assess the muscles and soft tissue around the pelvic region. She had done similar procedures before, but something unusual caught her sensors immediately. Her instrument beeped softly, indicating a higher than normal cellular activity. The human tissue was reacting strangely, producing a type of inflammation she had never observed in any human before. Lyra paused, her multifaceted eyes narrowing in concentration. "This is unusual," she murmured, mostly to herself. Her voice carried a note of curiosity rather than alarm. She had studied human anatomy for years, yet the readings she saw now did not match any documented case. Carter noticed her pause and frowned slightly. "Is it serious?" he asked, his voice steady but tinged with concern. Lyra carefully explained, choosing her words with precision. "It is not life-threatening. Your body is displaying an unusual reaction in one specific area. I have not observed this exact pattern before. I will conduct further non-invasive scans to understand it." Carter swallowed and nodded. He had grown up hearing tales of alien healers and their remarkable abilities, but this situation was unlike anything he had imagined. He trusted Lyra, but a small part of him wondered why his own body seemed so foreign under her gaze. Lyra adjusted her instruments, activating a scan that produced a holographic map of Carter's lower body. She observed the inflammation in 3 dimensions, noting its precise location, shape, and cellular activity. It seemed to respond subtly to his breathing and slight movements, almost as if it had a connection to his nervous system. Fascinated, Lyra documented every detail. She had expected anomalies in human physiology, but this level of adaptive response was extraordinary. Humans had evolved under vastly different conditions from her species, and yet they consistently displayed resilience beyond what she considered typical. This was another example. "Carter," she said gently, "I need you to remain still. This will only take a few minutes." The human obeyed, lying flat and trying not to move unnecessarily. Lyra's sensors worked silently, scanning deeper layers of tissue and detecting subtle chemical reactions that indicated not pain, but adaptation. Carter's body was actively responding to the injury in ways that were highly efficient, but also unfamiliar to her. As she analyzed the data, Lyra realized this was not a pathological inflammation. It was something else. A combination of immune response and biological adaptation that humans were capable of. Something her species could only simulate artificially. Her fascination grew, and for a moment her professional composure wavered under the thrill of discovery. "I see now why humans survive in conditions so hostile," she whispered to herself. Her species had always valued controlled environments, relying on technology to maintain health. Humans, by contrast, relied on an innate adaptability that was astonishing. Carter, sensing her focus, tilted his head. "Are you okay?" he asked. Lyra's multi-layered eyes softened. "Yes, I am fine. I am just impressed. Your body is remarkable. What I am observing may be unique even among your species." He blinked in surprise. "Really?" "Yes," she replied, keeping her voice calm. "You have mechanisms that respond to stress and injury in ways that allow you to recover faster than expected. This inflammation is part of that process. It is unusual but not dangerous." Carter exhaled slowly, relief washing over his face. I thought it might be something bad." Lyra smiled faintly, her movements graceful and precise as she adjusted the instruments. "Sometimes the unknown seems frightening, but often it is merely the unfamiliar. Your biology is fascinating. I must study it further." The rest of the examination continued smoothly, with Lyra documenting her findings in real time. She marveled at how Carter's body seemed to anticipate stress, reinforcing weak points and producing cellular reactions that were almost predictive. Every human she had treated had some unique adaptation, but this one was extraordinary. As the procedure ended, Lyra prepared a healing balm and applied it carefully to the minor injuries. Carter watched her, intrigued by her precision and calm demeanor. She moved with confidence, each motion calculated and deliberate, yet almost artistic in its flow. "I will leave this treatment in place," she explained. "It will aid in reducing minor discomfort. You should rest for the next few hours. I will continue to monitor your condition." Carter nodded, feeling a strange mix of admiration and curiosity. He had faced countless dangers in his life, but there was something different about this alien healer. Her fascination with him was not invasive. It was genuine, and it made him feel valued beyond his physical abilities. Lyra stepped back, her sensors continuing to record quietly in the background. She studied the holographic map once more, noting patterns she had never seen. The inflammation between Carter's legs was resolving naturally, guided by his own body systems, yet it left traces that could inform future research. "Your species is extraordinary," she said softly, almost to herself. "You endure more than we could imagine, and yet your bodies adapt, even thrive under pressure. This is remarkable." Carter, hearing her mutter, smiled faintly. "I've always heard humans are tough," he said. "But I didn't know aliens studied us for our biology, too." Lyra turned to him, her expression unreadable but thoughtful. "We study many species," she explained. "But humans, you are unique. Your biology, your resilience, your adaptability, it is unlike anything else we have seen." For a moment, they shared a quiet understanding, two beings from vastly different worlds acknowledging the strength inherent in humanity. Lyra returned to her instruments, making detailed notes on the anomaly, her excitement tempered by professionalism. Hours passed as she continued to observe, the med station quiet except for the soft hum of machinery. Carter rested peacefully, unaware of how significant his body had become to alien science. Lyra recorded every subtle change, knowing this data could revolutionize understanding of human physiology across the galaxy. As the day ended, Lyra finally deactivated her instruments and stepped back. She looked at Carter once more, her expression a mixture of respect and curiosity. She had seen many humans, treated many soldiers, but few had demonstrated the combination of physical resilience and calm cooperation that he had. "This is only the beginning," she murmured almost to herself. "There is much to learn from humans, and this one shows potential beyond what we anticipated." Carter stirred, sensing her gaze. "You're still awake?" he asked, half teasing. Lyra's lips curved in a faint smile. "I am always observing," she said. "It is my nature. Rest now. Tomorrow we will continue, and perhaps we will learn even more about the remarkable human body." As she left the room, Lyra felt a thrill of discovery that went beyond science. She had seen humans in battle, in colonies, in laboratories, but this interaction reminded her of their essence, curious, enduring, and capable of surprises, that no alien theory could fully predict. And in that quiet orbit above the blue frontier, Planet 2 beings, one human, one alien, shared a connection that transcended language, species, and expectation. The unusual inflammation between Carter's legs had not been dangerous, but it had revealed something far more profound. Humans were extraordinary, and the galaxy had yet to realize the depth of their potential. The night passed quietly, but Lyra knew this was just the first chapter of a journey that would reveal even greater wonders about humans. She was eager, not only as a healer but as a student of life itself, to continue this study. And somewhere deep within, she felt a growing admiration for the resilience, ingenuity, and quiet strength of the human before her. The next morning, Lyra returned to the triage room with renewed focus. The med station hummed softly, a gentle rhythm that seemed to echo the calm precision of her species' operations. Carter was awake, sitting upright and looking more comfortable than he had the previous day. His green eyes met hers as she entered, and for a moment, there was a silent acknowledgement of the trust that had formed between them. "Good morning, Carter," Lyra said, her voice calm yet carrying a quiet enthusiasm. "I have reviewed last night's data. Your body continues to show unusual but highly efficient adaptive responses." Carter raised an eyebrow. "Unusual in a good way or a bad way?" Lyra smiled faintly. "In a very good way. You are a remarkable human, Carter. What I observed yesterday is a natural process, but your body's reaction is unique. I would like to continue studying it to understand it fully." The human nodded, curiosity mingling with a cautious excitement. He had always been aware of the differences between humans and aliens, but interacting with a healer who respected him as a living specimen rather than just a patient was new. Lyra activated her instruments, creating a holographic projection of Carter's physiology. The inflammation she had detected yesterday was still present but diminishing, showing that his body was actively managing the anomaly. She noted subtle energy flows, chemical changes, and adaptive responses that were beyond any standard human medical text. "This is extraordinary," she murmured almost to herself. Her multifaceted eyes scanned every detail, absorbing the data with a sense of professional awe. "Humans truly are capable of adapting in ways that are beyond my species' understanding." Carter leaned back slightly. "So I'm like a superhuman?" he asked, half joking but genuinely interested. Lyra's gaze softened. "Not superhuman in the way your media depicts, but in terms of resilience, adaptability, and cooperation with your own body. Yes, you demonstrate traits that are exceptional even among humans. Your physiology allows for rapid recovery and precise self-regulation." "It is impressive." She moved closer, her movements fluid and careful. Her instruments hovered around him, scanning deeper layers of tissue, assessing metabolic activity and neurological responses. Carter remained still, trusting her implicitly. He had seen soldiers injured far worse than himself, but this was unlike anything he had experienced. As the scan continued, Lyra noticed an intriguing pattern. The inflammation between his legs was linked to other systems in his body, subtly influencing hormone levels, immune responses, and nerve signals. It was not dangerous, but it was complex, and it hinted at a type of biological intelligence, an internal system that seemed to anticipate stress and adapt preemptively. "This could change everything we know about human medicine," Lyra said softly, her voice carrying a mix of wonder and determination. "If we understand this process fully, we might develop treatments that emulate your adaptive responses in other species, or even enhance them further." Carter tilted his head, trying to understand. "So my body could help aliens too?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, your biology is remarkable. You humans survive, adapt, and thrive in ways that other species cannot. You are a natural model of resilience. Observing and learning from you could save countless lives." For a moment, Carter felt a strange pride. He had always thought of himself as just a soldier, a single individual in a vast galaxy. But Lyra's words made him realize that even ordinary humans could carry extraordinary potential. Lyra continued her analysis, her attention unwavering. She documented every detail, cross-referencing with her species' extensive medical archives. The adaptive patterns in Carter's body were unique, and she could not find any equivalent. She made mental notes for further research, already imagining the experiments and studies she could conduct under controlled conditions. Hours passed, and Lyra remained focused, occasionally adjusting instruments and checking Carter's comfort. He relaxed under her care, sensing that her curiosity was matched by her professionalism and empathy. This balance was rare. Many alien scientists valued data over individuals, but Lyra approached her work with care, respecting both science and the life before her. "You have remarkable endurance, Carter," she said finally. "Even under stress, your body maintains stability and efficiency. Most humans would show greater fatigue, but you are exceptionally resilient." Carter smiled faintly. "I guess all those drills and missions paid off," he said. "But I never thought someone would be impressed by my body's reactions." Lyra's eyes glowed softly. "It is not mere physical strength. It is your adaptability, your cooperation with your own biology, your ability to endure and recover. These traits are rare in the galaxy. Many species rely solely on technology to survive. Humans, you carry survival within yourselves." The human blinked, absorbing her words. He had known humans were resilient, but hearing it from an alien perspective, especially one as analytical and precise as Lyra's, was affirming in a way he had not expected. As the day progressed, Lyra conducted more non-invasive tests, observing how Carter's body responded to small physical challenges. Each test reinforced her findings. His inflammation was part of an advanced self-regulation system, reacting to movement, stress, and temperature. It was not just healing, it was anticipating, adapting, and optimizing. "You are amazing," Lyra said quietly as she observed the data. "Your species embodies principles we can only attempt to replicate artificially. Your body is an example of natural engineering far beyond our designs." Carter chuckled softly. "I guess humans really are full of surprises, huh?" "Yes," Lyra agreed. "And this is only one of many. I would like to continue monitoring you, with your consent, to document how this adaptive process evolves. It could redefine our understanding of human biology." The human nodded. "I'm okay with that. I trust you." Lyra felt a sense of satisfaction, not just as a scientist, but as someone who recognized the significance of her findings. Humans were remarkable. They were resilient, adaptable, and capable of cooperation that her species admired. And Carter, in particular, exemplified these traits. By evening, the triage room was bathed in soft artificial light, the med station quiet except for the low hum of machinery. Lyra compiled her notes, preparing a detailed report for the medical council. She described Carter's inflammation and adaptive responses, emphasizing that while unusual, they were entirely safe and potentially groundbreaking. Her report concluded with a recommendation: further study of human physiology in controlled environments to explore the possibilities of adaptive medicine and bioengineering. She highlighted Carter as a prime example of the species' potential. Carter, observing her work, asked, "So, do you think humans could help other species with this?" Lyra looked up, her expression thoughtful. "Yes. Your species' resilience could inform treatments, recovery protocols, and adaptive technologies for many others. Humans are not just survivors. You are teachers of endurance, adaptation, and cooperation, qualities that many in the galaxy could learn from." The human smiled, feeling a quiet pride that had little to do with combat or skill. It was a recognition that humans, by nature, carried something extraordinary within themselves, something worth studying, learning from, and respecting. As Lyra finished her work, she approached Carter one last time for the day. "Rest now. Your body will continue to adapt, and we will resume observations tomorrow. But know this: you have shown me the brilliance of your species. I am honored to study you." Carter nodded, feeling a deep sense of connection. He had faced countless dangers in battle, but this recognition of human ingenuity and resilience was profoundly moving. For the first time, he understood that human strength was not only in fighting or surviving, but in their ability to endure, adapt, and cooperate with others, even across species. As night fell over the med station, Lyra reflected on the day's discoveries. She had begun the examination expecting routine observations, but she had found something far greater, a testament to human endurance, a living example of biological adaptability, and a reminder that humans were extraordinary in ways the galaxy had yet to appreciate. Carter slept peacefully, unaware of the impact his body had already made on alien science. Lyra continued her quiet watch, recording subtle changes and preparing for the next day. The unusual inflammation was no longer a source of concern. It was a window into the brilliance of humans, a species capable of surprises that even the most advanced alien minds could scarcely predict. And in that quiet orbit, between the hum of machines and the distant glow of the frontier planet, two beings shared a silent understanding. Humans were remarkable, not just in courage or strategy, but in their very essence. Lyra felt a sense of awe and gratitude. She had witnessed it firsthand, and she knew this was only the beginning of humanity's story among the stars. As the med station drifted in its orbit, the future seemed full of possibilities. Humans like Carter were living proof that resilience, intelligence, and adaptability were more than just traits. They were forces that could shape the galaxy. Lyra closed her eyes briefly, reflecting on the day's discoveries, and allowed herself a small, rare smile. Tomorrow, she would continue her study. But tonight she simply acknowledged the quiet brilliance of the human before her, knowing that the galaxy had only begun to understand what humanity was capable of, and that the potential she had seen today was just the start of